Yo, what up? This is Big Cappuccino, the Great Wu-Tang Clan, Killer Bees on the Swarm.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Bizarre from D12.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Dub E Fresh.
Hey, Redman is in the building. You already know.
Hey guys, this is Emily Peachy.
Shout out, man, to Worldwide Collaborations, man.
I want to shout out Worldwide Collaborations LLC.
Shout out to the Worldwide Collaborations LLC.
World Movement, beyond thousands of movements.
The world movement, beyond thousands of movements.
All about representing each other together. So check this out.
What's up? You want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of the Worldwide Collaboration?
You guys should all be a part of Worldwide Collaboration.
Worldwide Collaborations LLC. Check us out, man, and check what's going on, man. Word up. I have recently been choosing to be a spokesman and an ambassador, so you will see a lot more of me. Join the movement, man. It's beyond thousands of movements right now and talents put together, all about representing each other together.
I want to join, so I might see you there. All right, much success.
It is a worldwide collaboration song.
Yeah. Look, brainstorming, creating, thinking, and new ideas, inventing innovations, representing everything, having members collaborate. Worldwide collaborations, ongoing visualization.
Welcome back to the Chatterbox with yours truly, King Jacob, man. We have another star-studded episode for you this evening. International base, man. You know, we have, none other. The Honored Moocher in the building. What's up, brother?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man.
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you tapping on, man. And just want to say, man, when people ask you, who is the Honored Moocher and what does he represent? What is your response?
My response is, man, he's just a regular dude who loves music and just wants to bring it to you, man. He represents that real music. I mean, that's a bit broad, right? But like that classic hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
the hip hop from the golden era. Yeah.
Straight up.
I hear that.
Straight up, down, sideways.
Right. So, man, tell me about your experience growing up, how you first got into music.
Honestly, man, I think from the time my dad used to play music when he took us to school, I used to like singing along, right? But that was like a variety of stuff. It was like some Latin stuff, like The Girl from Ipanema, all kinds of stuff. But around the time Crisscross came out, my younger brother and I used to learn the bars, right? Because it was kind of perfect. We both had a favorite and it wasn't the same, right? He liked the one guy. He liked Mac Daddy or Daddy Mac, whichever. But he would learn the one guy's bars, I'd learn the other, and then we'd practice. And as the years went by, we would just learn songs until we went to Ghana, right? So initially I was born in a place called Maseru. And then we had cousins and we were all cool. We used to ball. Then we went over to Ghana, and when we got back, we touched base with the homies, like, so what's good? And they were like, yeah, we spit bars now. So we were like, my brother and I were like, oh, let me hear something. And then that's when like that healthy competition started, where we began to like actually write stuff down, like your own stuff. And I had a mentor who was like my cousin. He was like, the nicest in his hood, and because we were fam, I spent like a month with him, and he would kind of put me on the way he does it. Like he had a homie in the same street that would produce a beat tape EP worth in terms of how many joints every week, right? So like my cousin would have a notepad, which is like an EP's worth of bars every week. So in a month, I saw him put together like 4 EPs, which is like 2 albums. And it was the days of the, what do you call those recorders? The tape decks, right? Where it's like double-sided, right. And the one is play, the other is play and record, and there's a mic.
Right.
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 So he would just stand there like real serious and say, "Shut up and watch this." And then he would, he wouldn't even preview the beats first. That's the crazy thing. He would just pop the tape in, get the pad out, record, and then do the whole EP in one recording, like one take. You could even hear like the pages flipping and stuff,
Wow.
So yeah, I used to see. Yeah, wow, was true, dude. Like I would sit there and be like, "That's how you do it, huh? No mistakes. You just flip it like that." Then he would literally take the tape and then give it to some cat who would circulate it around the neighborhood. And Lesotho is so far, man. There were no international acts. His dream was, I don't know why he picked JD, Jermaine Dupri. He said one of these days, maybe Jermaine Dupri will be walking in town and I'll have one of these tapes like, there you go. There you go.
Right, right.
That was kind of my inspiration. So I wanted to take it a step further, and I didn't want to rely on somebody to make beats for me. I quite love production too, so I taught myself how to make beats so that I could always write whenever I needed to, and I wouldn't really have anybody dictating which track to go where, etc. I just used to do my whole thing, So yeah.
Wow.
What I did, that's kind of like how it started. So that's just the beginning, right? I'm not even nice at that point. That's
okay. So once you learn how to make production,
yeah,
that made you and your brother kind of own y'all craft a little bit more better, correct?
100%.
Okay. And so being that you are international,
yeah,
tell me what's the DJs like over there, and what are the music showcases like, when you go to competitions?
What do you mean by competitions? Like what type of competitions?
Okay, so like when they have the music showcases in the States, when they have like an A&R there, they might have a person who owns a magazine, a blogger, they might have a person who owns a recording studio. So like when a promoter throws a music showcase, is it the same as the States or is it different over there?
Okay, from how you've described that, it is the same but different. Like I would say it's different because there aren't a lot of those like that happen. I was a part of one, but it was a big thing. It was like where brands like cell phone brands, right? Like networks. I don't know what you guys use over there. I think you have Verizon, right? As one of the cell phone networks.
Yeah, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be like if those brands put in a lot of money into the showcase and they're sponsoring. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's prizes at the end of these things. So it's either a battle, like a traditional battle, or it's a talent show where your song, their song, and at those things there's a lot of press, right? There's a lot of magazine people. There's dudes that own recording studios. There's record label people, and it's kind of like a talent search. So what I discovered is the runner-up and the winners are the ones that get the most interest. Like I was runner-up in one of those, and I did pretty well. I felt robbed, so I got all the attention, and lots of people were like saying, "Cool, come check me out. This is my number. I have a recording studio. I have a deal." But like there's not a lot of those. There has to be hype around it where there's a huge sponsor for those people to come, because because that's how you guarantee that there's going to be talent. Because it's not one of those things where there's a lot of wannabes, and there has to be a system where it says you're not going to be disappointed. This is the level. So the participants have been vetted. So okay. So how they would do it is they would do it on a radio show, like on the radio. They would say, if you've got skills, phone this number and kick an a cappella freestyle. And they would judge based on that, who's got potential, who's got talent. And then they'd shortlist it and say, these are the people that are now going to come to the showcase.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. That's sort of like back in the day, when you had people like, Big Daddy King and KRS-One and all of them, when they used to call into the radio station and, with make it or break it freestyle. Yeah. So I can dig it. So upon you owning your craft, man, how long did it take you to learn how to produce music?
I would say the better, like a while, man. A while. Like, fortunately for me, I always had respect for the craft. Like, I was in a hurry, but I also realized that's not something you can rush. You'd only be, stealing from yourself. I always knew it wasn't like someone with, I always knew it wasn't something where genetics was enough. Like, with athletes, if you're fast because your parents were fast, you could get pretty good early, even without coaching. But, with music, you just got to stay humble and really, really just, take your time with it. It took me a minute, man. I mean, I'm not really into specifics, but it's never ending. I was actually talking to my brother today, and he was trying to tell me that, we've come a long way with what we thought was great music production to what we know now, But look, yeah, man. I mean,
okay, so both of y'all rap and both of y'all produce, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's the nicest?
Oh man, I'm the nicest, and I'm not just saying that. I'm the nicest because I carried on with my craft. Like like I said, we've been doing this for a long time, and he never had any ambition with it. He was just one of those dudes who was nice, that if you need him on a track, he's not going to let you down. But he doesn't work on his pen. Years could go by and he doesn't really work on it because he doesn't actually want to like make stuff and get it heard and put it out. So
he's I'm behind the scenes guy.
Yeah, but like not even like he gets an itch to make beats because that's fun. He loves to crate dig. He's the best crate digger I've ever met. His crate digging is insane. And he likes to make beats. He'll call you out of the blue and be like, you need to come check out some of my joints. And I'm like, great. I'm in the studio right now. Send me something or I'll come over or whatever. But, as far as rhyming goes, unless I'm asking him to work with me, he doesn't really work on it. But for a while, we were neck and neck. But to be honest, man, I think I was always the nicest because I actually do songs. Like I won't just kick a 16. Like my plan is it's got to be 3 minutes of fire. So whatever that means, whether it's a rhyme on its own, whether we put in a hook, whether we take me off, put in a singer, I always thought in those dynamics. So, whenever you listen to my stuff, like the idea is that it's complete and good to go.
Okay. So can you remember when you first recorded your first single, and what was that experience for you, and what was that feeling mentally and emotionally and musically?
Yo, it's funny, man. Like, to be honest, I have never been more of a natural at anything as I am recording music. Like the first thing I ever did was 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after that experience I told you where my mentor, I spent a month with him and he was saying, be quiet and watch me, right? 6 months later, I was like, I made beats, and my experience was we didn't even have a studio. We had a computer. We had the DAW was like, what did we use? It was something called Acid. All you could do was track vocals, right? You couldn't even put in like compression or EQ. And we had those old, you remember those really cheap computer mics, the thin white ones that like bend at the top?
Yes.
We recorded our first album demo on that. And to answer your question, man, like I was a natural because I brought the homies in like RZA, because those were my dudes that were nice. And I was like, okay, we got to go back to school after a month. Tell your folks to drop you off. You'll sleep on the floor. I'll wake you up one by one to come drop your rhymes. We're going to work on an album in a month. So you'll hear me making beats. Dudes would wake up and be like, yo, I got something for that. And I'd be like, okay, record. And it took a month and we did 21 songs that we put together. we even did skits, right? Like long skits that were like humorous and rap like, and we assumed personalities. It was all very theatrical, right? And we had no training, no practice. We weren't even copying albums. It was just like that whole excitement of, yo, is that my voice? Wait, let me say something else. It wasn't.
I mean, what y'all had is what I would like to call it is an organic vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Because in truth, King Jacob, we were family, right? Like, I mean, blood family. So the crew was called Infra Black, right? That's the crew. And the mentor who taught me, he didn't really teach me. He showed me the ropes. I mean, you have to do the work yourself. But he came up with the name. We're gonna be a crew, Infra Black, right? So it was him. He's my cousin on my dad's side. There's my younger brother. And then there was like one other cousin of mine on my dad's side, and then another homie who was like family because we grew up together. So that energy you're talking about is largely based on the fact that we grew up doing all kinds of stuff together, playing in the back, video games, you name it. So it was cool.
So who in the crew actually plays instruments?
Nobody. Nobody. And that was always a touchy subject because our parents are old school, you know, and their idea is that if you say you're a musician or you make music, you have to play an instrument. And if you don't, it was just like they created this barrier of saying, well, what can you do? Like, you couldn't explain working an MPC to them. You couldn't explain sampling. You couldn't explain even DJing, man. Like, their respect for hip hop was just kind of like, it's that stuff y'all young people are doing. Like, oh, and if you don't sing, it's like, you can't call yourself a real musician. What's this rap stuff? Yeah.
I mean, but rap is celebrating 50 years, man. So, you know,
that's right.
50 years, bro.
50 years, man.
Longer than I've been born.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So 50 years, man. And so who would have ever thought that hip hop would be around now and be the most successful genre of music in the world?
Yeah, and influential, bro. I hear you.
So it's you know, at first, you know, you had rock and roll, then country took over. Mm-hmm. And now you got hip hop, who is in its own lane, where you got it's so prestigious now, till you got the dudes that do country music is getting these rappers and putting them on tracks. Yeah, man. So hip hop is pretty prestigious.
No doubt.
But
man.
I tell people, the new era of hip hop, that's not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a golden era, straight bar for bar, pound for pound. You know, I'm a type of cat, you know, where you know, this is a track that I would do.
Okay.
I would do a track like Guru from Gangstar.
Ooh.
Common.
Ooh.
Rakim.
Okay.
And Cool G Rap.
Oh. I've never heard of that combination of MCs on one joint, man.
or I do another track with like a Karis One.
Uh-huh.
A Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
A Prodigy. And a Raekwon.
Yeah. You're like me, man. You're very East Coast.
Yeah. I mean, but if it was down south, it'll be somebody like a Andre 3000.
No doubt.
You know,
you
Andre
gotta
3000
throw CeeLo in there, man.
Andre 3000, CeeLo,
Goody Mob,
Scarface, and 8 Ball from 8 Ball MJG. Yeah. So what are your biggest influence when it comes to the hip hop culture?
Oh man, it's honestly very East Coast, man. When I started, you know how it works. Like when you actually like start to do your own scripting, you identify with somebody And that's the beginning, because after a while you'll change and change and change until you're not really drawing inspiration like you used to when you started. You start doing your own thing. So I think when it started, my all-time favorite was, I didn't even have one, but Wu-Tang kind of like lit a fire under me, because in Ghana, hip hop was just for dancing. So they'd be a party and you'd practice moves just so you could impress the chicks. And there was one homie of mine who always used to get into fights, and he was just like rebellious, but he was a cool guy. And he was like, I was like, you coming to the party? He's like, nah. I'm like, why? He's like, they don't play my stuff. I'm like, what's your stuff? He's like, I'm listening to Wu-Tang. I'm like, what's that? He's like, there's 11 guys and they be talking about this, this, and that. So the first time I heard him, it was deep. And then I liked Inspector Deck a lot, lyrically, because I really did. Lyrically,
Well,
like, I mean, I still do.
I think the most three underrated cats in Wu-Tang is Inspector Deck, Capadonna, and You God.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. I agree with you on that.
You know, everybody love everybody. You know, they love RZA, they love Ghost, they love Raekwon, they love Meth. You know, but man, like I tell people, man, I think the most intellectual dude in that group is Capadonna. Like man, when you like some of his intellectual speeches that he go to Harvard and Yale and University of Boston College, Cornell University and NYU, man. Like once I was reading up on all that he does when it comes to physics, I was like, oh wow.
Isn't that GZA?
Is it GZA? It is GZA. It is.
Yeah,
I had
that's
mixed up. It's GZA. Yeah,
Genius.
it's GZA. Yeah, the genius. So you know, I had it mixed up. But like GZA is definitely underrated as well. But man, I say, man, Wu-Tang is just like, they just crazy with it. All of them have their own sequence when it comes to the hip hop culture. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
They all dope. But what sold me on hip hop was Rakim, hands down. I love Rakim, man.
Yeah, man. How can you not?
My favorite to this day. So you know, enough about the culture, man. Tell me, what have you been pushing out here lately?
Yo, I got this joint called Red Mercury, right?
Right.
Red Mercury, the Ohmidas.
I've seen that. I've seen that. So with that joint, man, how long did it like that production, man? Like when people hear your production, bro, are they interested in shopping with you?
Yeah. A lot of the time, I've produced for different people. But yeah, man, I'm glad you pointed that out, because you know, like, that's one of the things which I think dudes should never sleep on. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got bars, but the whole picture has to just be, you know, right. You know, so yeah, like that.
So you just make hip hop beats, or you make beats? You make production for all type of genres of music?
It's hip hop. Strictly hip hop. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know, the reason I asked you that, because you are a producer. So, you know, when it comes to producers, most of them have, like Timbaland, his range is wide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, man, like, yo, King, it gets kind of technical, right? Like, if you look at production, a lot of the time, if you're nice with the lyrics as well, there's not a lot of time to master other genres of production on the same level of excellence as, you know, your hip hop or whatever. So when you mentioned Timbo, I'm like, yeah, he kind of just makes beats, so I'm not surprised. So I don't think.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I heard Havoc from Mobb Deep say the same thing. You know, because he was on an interview. They was like, man, you do all type of genres. They like, not so much, man. I kind of stay in my own lane. He's like, you know, You know, cause you know I'm still a lyricist too, man. So
Word up.
and he was like, man, I just have to kind of stay in my own lane. So now, when it comes to them real hip hop MCs, man, as far as the people that you have worked with,
Yeah.
what has been your favorite session in the studio with another MC?
Believe it or not, it wasn't an MC. It was a vocalist.
Oh,
Yeah, it was this girl. I kind of know my own capabilities, and I'm always interested in working with other people that teach me something that I just didn't even know was possible. So you might not find this impressive, maybe you will. So here's what she does, right? I pick her up and I tell her the concept, and she's like, okay. She hasn't written anything down, and I'm upset because she's had 2 weeks, but it's fine. I don't say anything. We drive to the studio. We get there. The beat plays, and yeah, she freestyles it. Cool. That's it's been done before. It's fine. And then the engineer has a technical problem where he goes, just give me 2 minutes. And then he presses stop. Then while she's waiting, right, she starts creating these lyrics with a melody. They're complete, they're off top, they're not related to my joint. And I tell the engineer, record that.
Oh, wow.
And she does that. And then she screams and goes, oh, I'm going to forget it. And I'm like, no, you're not. I was recording. And she's like, oh my God. So I get back home to the studio and I make a whole new remix around what she did. And she has no memory of how she did it. It was a one take. It was like just some other melody. It had a melody and everything. And it had lyrics. It wasn't even like scatting. And it was like a whole song's worth of vocals. And I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen that. Like, she didn't even know what she just did. She even looked at us like, damn it, I wish you guys were recording that. I don't know what I just did. And I was like, yeah, I was recording because that's how I do. So that was, yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that. I know people like that, man, that like they have the little recorders, you know, with them all the time, man, because they'll just come off the top of their head and they can't remember anything. And so it's a lot of creative people like that. If they don't record it while they're doing it, they'll forget it. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Yeah, so I've seen that before, man. But that's genius of you, because she really didn't know how dope she was. You just really engaged in that conversation y'all had and let her know, like, oh wow, like, man, do you really understand who you are?
Yeah, you know, and back to like what you asked me about my music, man. Like, you know, what's so compelling about my new joint, Red Mercury, man. I called it the Ohmidas Journal because, like, Red Mercury is like a mystical substance. Like, if you do research, nobody really knows if it's real or not. But those that say it is real, they talk about it like it's kryptonite or lightning in a bottle. So I'd spent years doing research on the mythical properties and the so-called real properties of red mercury. It's like a super substance. Some say it's from outer space. So I found that quite interesting because it's like one of those wonders of the world. So Ohmidas is like my other like alias, you know, because I come from that era where you had to have more than one name, right? So it's Honored Moocher, it's Professor Ohmidas, it's Perf, it's Lethargic. I could go through all of them, but it's like, you know, Ohmidas is the professor that did the research. That's why I called it the Ohmidas Journal. And when you listen to the project, you'll check that, oh, okay, it's a journal.
What's so interesting about you, man? You know how you can listen to somebody's music,
yeah,
and you be like, man, that's a spiritual brother. Like, I wonder what makes his mind tick, what elevates his mind spiritually while he's writing.
You know, man, like a lot of MCs have said this, but I make music for the Almighty. I think in the beginning, it used to be about me, but I met a girl once who said to me, God punishes you for not using your talent. So she was saying that because she felt like I might want to be like, I might want to quit or like just be like whatever. She's like, but you can't. Not if, you know, your music sounds like this. Like it would be a crime against, you know, God. And then she got me thinking.
Because I was on your YouTube today, man. I said, man, he actually took me back when you know people used to have the free concerts in the park. You know, when I used to go visit up north to Maryland and DC and Virginia and Philly, and when they had the free concerts in the park where you had the kids gathering around and you know, when you had the girls out there doing double dutch, but you had the MCs and you had a real live DJ and you had two mics where, you know, MCs was just a friendly battle and you had the little hot dog truck right there on the side and you know.
I can picture that. Or like the fire hydrant with the water coming out and like, you know, people dancing near them.
Yeah, man. So but you like a real MC and I really believe, man, that if we look at what's going on in hip hop, there's a lot of extracurricular activity going on that's ruining the culture. And so I think MCs like you can really help bring the culture back and give us that substance that we need. And you know, when it comes to like lyrical content and creating that target market audience, you know, through the delivery of your music, I think that you're one of those dudes. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, dog. Like, you know, like what makes this album so special to me is I used to be with a record label some years back, and you know, it's an old story, the oldest story in the world. They don't let you leave with some of the music. Like the relationship ends and they kind of hold your music hostage because of technicalities, and it messes with you psychologically because it's like, how do you plan your next move? Because it's not always easy as an artist to say, let him have that, I'll just do more. Like you have to have clear goals and have everything right in here and in here to know how you move forward. So long story short, they gave me back some of that music. And that's some of what I'm presenting in this album. I reworked some of it, but it's got a lot of history attached to it because I very nearly didn't have that stuff. So I polished it up and added some new stuff to it. And so it's kind of work that's been demonstrative of certain phases I've been through in the last few years. You know, it's probably the last of its kind as well. I always think about that. I'm like, most people are just going to hear it as music. But to me, that is the last time ever it's going to be made in that way. And it's tricky because it's a win and a loss because there's something about that process that's special. But there's also something about the way I'm going to make my music going forward that's even more special. But that's what makes it a classic collectible. Like, I'm doing a 3 series. So this is the first one. I call it the Red series. This is Red Mercury. The next one will be Red Belt. The last one will be dedicated to love. I'll call it Red Roses. So that's just about relationships as well. So of the series, it's the only one that's going to be made in that way, where there's like that energy of fighting to get the songs back, reworking them and adding on to them versus just starting from scratch and saying album time. Let's do it in a year. Let's do it in however long. So, yeah.
All right, man. You heard it first, man. Man, another start to the episode with yours truly, man, the Honored Moocher, man. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Rappers ain't keeping up. I see them sneaking, but they couldn't fit in my sneakers. I'd rather you eat my dust. Pour some cloud, turn up the speakers. reefer up. Where I'm just thinking about plans of buying and land and build all my people up. Man, that shit about to be sweet as fuck. Man, I've been a boss motherfucker for a minute. And I'm
We're back once again, man. That was my partner out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Louis D, man.
Oh yeah.
We're currently coming up with a music business course. We're going to have virtual seminars, teaching people how to get business credit, how to repair their credit, and how to get their nonprofit, their 501c13. And so that's some other things that we're working on with musicians for them to make a serious impact in the community, you know, through nonprofits. You know what I mean?
Fantastic, man. That's a great way. That's a great way to add to the culture, because very few people do the whole educate musicians on the business side. You know, that's amazing.
Right. And then, man, you know, with the music business, you know, if artists have an LLC and they have a little small independent label, and you know they're transitioning onto how to make residual income. You have a lot of private investors, hedge fund groups, angel investors, and a lot of solid economic investors that'll be willing to invest. But you know, you just got to have your paperwork in order and have things right, and you just got to have where you can show them the revenue, you know, what you put in, what you put out, what you take in, you know, what's going to the menelations cash, the petty cash, but all through the betterment of your music and for your label. So it's a lot of people that would invest, but with an investor, it got to make sense and the paperwork has to be right.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. So, but man, this project, man, you know, I said to you, like when I hear you, man, I said, man, you know, a lot of people just rap for fame, but when you hear people that rap that drop spiritual jewels and just drop jewels that you can take with you throughout your everyday life, man. Like when I heard you, I was like, when I went to your YouTube, I was like, okay, he different. He got some of that golden era left in him. You know what I mean? And so, man, like when your family members hear you, man, what are their response? Because you've been doing it for a minute, so and it's right there that you have a fan base, that you built a target market audience, and so not even when they hear you, but when other people tell them, be like, man, like your brother, like, man, you heard your brother new track? You know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy to hear somebody else say that to them. And so when you hear other people talking about it, like what is your first response?
My first response is thank you. I'm always so humbled to get to, first of all, radiate positive energy and then to receive it back. I stay away from negativity, because, you know, the unfair thing about the world is when you begin to make progress, you also begin to get a lot of negative energy. And if you don't know what to do with it, it can throw you off course. So, you know, without the proper guidance, I've seen a lot of people give in to like the wrong kind of energy. So whenever I get positive energy, I'm very gratuitous of it. You know, I thank the Almighty, and I keep it moving, man. I keep it moving.
Right.
I mean, I probably won't make music forever, but with that said, I make sure that everything that I share with the world is authentically from an honest place, you know?
So you said you won't make music forever. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah?
And what's interesting about it is with your creative, you know, process, you know, with you being a creative mind, what's next for you after music?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. To tell you the truth, I really don't know. I just know that if I am blessed with long life, there'd be some other things I would try to apply myself to, but they will be revealed to me by the Almighty. Because when it comes to music, like, there's certain things I need to say and I need to share with you. I haven't finished sharing them with you, but it's possible. I'm not saying it's certain, but it's possible. I'll say everything I want to say, and then I'll share it with you and have it be in the universe forever. That way,
I had somebody that was sort of on your level to tell me this about 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I asked him what is next for music for him. He told me either a college professor or an entertainment lawyer.
Ooh.
You know, and I said, what type of college professor? He said, what would you teach? He would say, man, Black economics. I said, why? He said, because we need to know how to turn money. We need to know that we can go to the future homeowners of America and get a grant to get a house. We need to know that we can go to the future farmers of America and get a grant money to build our ranch. We need to know that we can go to certain organizations, man, and because that we are minorities, that they have tons of grants for us that we don't never even apply for.
Word. Empowerment.
Yeah, man. So, but I can definitely see you teaching something. Can't say what it is because you definitely are an intellectual brother. So, therefore, you know, whether it be music production, or whether it be writing, or I can see you, since you are naturally a writer, I can also see you writing scripts, writing movies, writing web series, writing TV series.
I hear that. I actually went to film school, man, out in New York. I was at the New York Film Academy for film. So I direct. I know how to direct. But so you're not wrong in saying I could, you know, dabble in that. I never wrote screenplays or nothing, but it's something I could do because I hear you on that one.
Well, so you know, I tell rappers, songwriters, you know, people that write poems, if you can write something, you a blog or whatever, I say if you can learn how to write songs and count bars and write for other people, then that means that you can write your own script. And the script don't necessarily got to be about you. The script can be about something that you experience. You know, I mean,
no.
You know, I told my homeboy that, you know, if I ever got into script writing, I would write something like something that happened to me back when I was in high school, and the name of the movie would be I Once Loved Her. You know what I mean? So you know, it's tons of things that we experience that we can write about. Cause somebody told me, they like, he said, what if you are an intellectual person and every time you post something on social media and you copy and paste to your notepad, in the next 6 months, you will have a new book.
Yes.
But we really never think of things like that. So, you know, we don't, you know, ever do it. So, you know, but yeah, it makes sense. What up, Steve? Oh, what up, Icon? What's going on with you? Yeah. You so funny, Steve. Leave my Cowboys alone. Them Dallas Cowboys alone. Stop it, man.
Oh, you support the Cowboys, huh?
Yes, I love them. Yeah, yes, sir. It's my squad, man. Yeah, that's my squad for sure. Die hard. Yes, sir, man. But
you like sports, right?
I love
Which guy doesn't, right? Which guy doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, when you love sports enough, you go from one sport to like checking out all of them in little ways, you know?
Right.
You know a little bit about every sport. Yeah, I know. It's just one of those guy things.
You know, I had a guy that I used to, you know, work for when I was doing the restaurant business, man, and he taught me so much about soccer. You know, I knew about it, but I didn't know about it. So, he used to rock with this squad by the name of Liverpool.
Oh, that's my dad's team.
Yeah,
that's my dad's team. Yeah.
So, And he would have it on the big screen in the restaurants. And I never knew, man, that when I tell you so many people came out to when
dude,
whoa.
With the red shirts?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
man.
it's like everybody at the bar had a red shirt on, bro.
Yeah. No. It's real. It's real. Like I used to play, man. Before I picked up the pen, that was my thing. I was gonna be a professional. That was my ambition.
Okay.
Yeah. Like before I found music, I was gonna be a professional footballer. I was pretty good, dude. I was really, really good. But I found music and I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. So beyond music, it's gonna be special. I think I'm already doing a little bit of it now, but I'm just gonna I don't want to say too much about it, but I'm gonna hone in on it, and just it's funny. You can spend your whole life actually trying to learn yourself. Like if you ask me who I am, I could tell you, but in truth, I think I'm still learning myself, man. I mean, that's kind of scary to say, right?
In truth, man, we don't actually know, because something about us changes every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something is like, whether it's your mentality, whether it's your emotional capacity, or whether it's you spiritually, it's something about you that's going to change.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to, like, sometimes, man, I find myself not wanting to be involved with some of the things that me and my friends used to be like, sometimes I find myself more of a homebody. I'm finding myself, if I can do it at 12 o'clock at night, then that means I can do it at 4 o'clock in the day. You know what I mean? So, but versus back when I was younger, I would never thought that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so growth is everything, man.
Word. Man, like, one thing I want to share with you, I actually want to get your opinion on this. I'm one of those dudes where I told you I make the music for the Almighty. That's what really inspires me, because I sometimes feel like, imagine God's watching you and all he wants for you to do is to give your best effort. Your goal is, to succeed and to be famous, all that superficial stuff. But to him, he's like, if you're using everything I gave you to the fullest and then more, I'm impressed. So that's very inspiring. Now, having said that, I'm the kind of guy that puts the music before the politics. So if I break that down, let's pretend you and me are homies. For one, we're homies, right?
Right.
Secondary to that is we both rap. We make songs together and we actually make dope stuff. Okay?
Right.
If you and me fall out years later and we have a bit of music together, even if you and me don't get along, when I put something out, if it has you on it, I'm still putting it out with you on it, because there is nothing wrong with the song.
Right.
Like, the relationship of those musicians on that song is divine. But in the real world, like currently, they might not be getting along, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to put that out, because then I'm holding myself back. Like, talent-wise, I'm like, look, the song is a creation. It would be like if we build something, just because we're no longer getting along, does that mean I got to go and smash it? Like, that doesn't make sense.
No. That don't make sense. That's, when it comes to stuff like that, man, people got to really understand, at that moment, it was a great creation. Yeah. And for it being a great creation, it inspired people that me or you don't know. So let's allow it to keep inspiring people all over the globe.
Exactly. So I'm the kind of guy that, and of course we're not even talking on that music business level where there's mad paperwork, where, like, if I put it out without your consent, then it can get legal. We're not even talking that level, man. We're talking like for free, right? Or like just, SoundClouding it or whatever you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, man, I'll probably put it out against your wishes. Like, That's the thing. And the only time I wouldn't put it out is if you didn't like your performance. Like if it was one of those tracks where you never really liked what you was doing, I could respect that. But if I know you loved it, like you loved it, and when we were tight, we played it everywhere for everybody. Yo, man, if we're no longer cool and you tell me, yeah, man, don't put that track out, I'm like, sorry, dude. Our creations are for the Almighty. They're gonna exist. You can take it personal. Like, remember that gangster song? You can take it personal.
Right.
That's like my whole attitude towards it, man. Hey, I put it out there.
I can definitely understand that, man. Like a creation is creation, and like you said, you make music for the kingdom. So, you know, I mean, we gonna keep inspiring God's people. And so if you feel like you don't want to inspire God's people no more, that ain't my problem. I'm going to keep inspiring God's people. And that's the only way I look at it.
Yeah, and like, you know, on my album, this Red Mercury, man, like it's so interesting because when I tell you that there won't be another one like this, it's also the people that are on it. In my journey, and I'm sure in your journey, you meet great people, but just because of the way life goes, sometimes you fall out, you know, or you outgrow each other. Sometimes it's hard feelings, sometimes it's not hard feelings, but it's a beautiful thing when you're still able to reach out to people because those relationships are still good. And you consider those relationships blessings because they can contribute to your craft, you know? So the people on my album are actually like family. Well, not all of them are like family, but half of them are like family because they were always there for me in good and bad times. And we got to this point where they could see me make something this special. And then the other cats, they don't even know me, but they know of me. So all the hard work I'd put in over the years, even when I was at the record label, they always heard the music and wanted to reach out, but couldn't. And then I ended up reaching out and they were like, yo, man, I've been wanting to work with you for years. So I'm always very, very grateful that the positive impact that the music has had can result in more positive music. You know what I mean? That's a real blessing for me.
Word. Okay, yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. So before we get out of here, man, introduce your album that you have out now and give people your social media handle.
All right, man. What's up? So it's your boy Honored Moocher. All socials, right? Instagram, it's Honored Moocher. Facebook, as well as on YouTube. The album is out on Bandcamp. All right, it's Honored Moocher. Bandcamp. Red Mercury is what you're looking for. Go get that heat. From the 31st, which is next week, it'll be available on all streaming platforms. But what you want to do is go to Bandcamp and get the bonus. I always put some bonus stuff on Bandcamp just because it's that much more personal, you know. So what you get on Bandcamp is different to what you get on the streaming platforms by a track or two.
Okay. And so what else can we expect as far as are we getting more visual soon? And what else can we expect for, you know, the remainder of 2023?
You're going to be getting updates on the Red Belt, which comes after Red Mercury. It's a 3-series creative offering. Red Mercury is the first. You want to check that out, right? Okay. It lays the foundation for Red Belt. I'm actually in the lab right now working on Red Belt. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, fleshing it out. It's Are
you accepting features right now?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. This is the time. This is the time where there's no rush yet. So we can make more than one record and just, you know, get a feel for our vibe. Find our vibe. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah.
Okay. That's what's up, man. So you heard it first. The Chatterbox with King Jacob, you know. I'm so privileged to have the Honored Moocher as a special guest on the platform. And man, we're gonna catch back up with him in probably maybe like June. Bring him on for another interview and see what else he got going on. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him take this acting in this film thing to another level. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing you do your first web series, TV series, your first movie, you know, whatever you may do. I'm really looking forward to seeing that, man, you know, because you already have the credentials to do it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Word, man. Stay tuned, baby. Stay tuned. Go get
No
that
doubt.
Red Mercury. Go
You
get
heard
that
what he
Red
said.
Mercury.
The Red Mercury, man. So, like he said, go to Bandcamp.
Honored
the 30
Moocher, Bandcamp. Red
and
Mercury.
he said on the 31st, it'll be on all platforms. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. Peace, blessings, Godspeed, God's favor, God's grace.
Peace.
Peace.